let's make some picks for UFC 216 this Saturday in Las Vegas, Nevada. Oh boy. All right, let's just get to this main card. There's some fun.
I'll just throw this on here.
Yeah, perfect. There's some fun ones on the undercard, but we'll just do the main ones. So at lightweight to kick off your pay-per-view, you got Dariush versus Evan Dunham. Dunham's actually had a resurgence career-wise. I think he's won 4 in a row or 3 in a row, where he looked like he was fucking done. It looked like it was not going well for him when he lost 3 in a row. Mm-hmm. He's won 4 in a row. Beat Lozon, Ross Pearson, Rick Glenn. All decisions. He had a fight tonight against Rick Glenn, but Dariush, his last fight, he lost to Barboza where he got brutally knocked out. But if you guys have listened to the show before, I'm a huge Dariush fan, man. He can do it all. Mm-hmm. His grappling's ridiculous. I think his grappling and Dunham's kind of cancel each other out, so it goes to the feet. I don't see this being like a barn burner or a fight of the night. I think Dariush gets it done. He gets up on the cards early and then cruises into decision victory.
Cool.
Verdum, Derek Lewis. So there's always there's 2 fun underdogs on this card, and I always give you guys the underdog if you're going to bet on it. And then also remember, I'm biased as shit on my picks, so if you're risking money, take that into consideration on certain fighters. But Fabricio Verdum versus Derek Lewis, if I had to pick an underdog to bet on, it'd be Derek Lewis. Just because of his straight-up knockout power. Verdum's not young. And before, if people forget, if you remember Derek Lewis, before that Mark Hunt TKO where he fought Hunt in New Zealand, which was fight of the night, they talked about retirement, which was a little weird. But before that, he murked Travis Brown with one of the most brutal KOs of 2017. And then, beat Roy Nelson, Gabe Gonzaga. So he won, 6 in a row? Mm-hmm. Before that, then he lost to Mark Hunt. Nothing wrong with that. God, I don't know what the odds are, but then you look at Verdum. What's Verdum, 40 now? He's had some wars. His last fight, he lost to Overeem, which, I guess he lost. That was a shit fight. The fans really lost that fight. No one really won. But, and then he beat Travis Brown in that decision. Then he got knocked out by Stipe. So I love Verdum, man. And you look at his resume. If he gets Derek Lewis down, this fight is over in seconds. He's going to cut through his grappling like fucking warm butter. But that's a big if. And early on, Derek Lewis has so much goddamn power in his hands. And I don't think he's worried about getting knocked out by Verdum. And it's scary for Verdum. Mm-hmm. And Verdum, will rush forward and stuff like that and play that game where Derek Lewis, you don't want to play that game. So for an underdog bet, like a big underdog bet, I'd put money on Derek Lewis. But if someone were like, hey, gun to your head, you got to pick someone who's actually more technical, who should win, Fabricio Verdum should win this fight. Way more technical in every aspect. Also, Derek, I wouldn't mind I like both guys, both great guys, but Derek Lewis is a guy, God, do you see the help he's doing in Houston?
Love it.
I root for that guy. I want him to do well. He gives great promos. He's funny on social media. He's a monster, man. And the division could use someone like him. They really can. That being said, he has one hell of a matchup with Fabricio Verdum, especially if he gets out of that first round. If Fabricio can avoid the power punch of Derek Lewis, it could be a rough night for Derek Lewis. But as my one kind of golden pony underdog pick, where if you want to make some money, I bet on Derek Lewis. And when you say puncher's chance, there's puncher's chance and then there's Derek Lewis power. Mm-hmm. We'll call it, Black Beast chance, which is I would bet on anyone in the division, including if you fought Francis Gano that first round. It's going to be scary if Derek Lewis touches your chin. Yeah. Demetrius Johnson, Ray Bourque. I think Demetrius Johnson is the biggest favorite of all time in a title fight. I want to say that. Or he was, but he's close. Either way, tough matchup for Ray Bourque. Ray Bourque's good in grappling. We've broken down this fight a little bit before, but Ray Bourque's thing is grappling, and he gets it in the transitions. Well, it just so happens that Mighty Mouse is the best of all time in transitions and grappling. So when you make someone who's amazing at it versus the guy who's the best of all time wins every time. Mm-hmm. So for me, Mighty Mouse breaks the record and it gets lost in the wash. He breaks the record. Maybe Ariel Helwani will talk about it. Other than that, it's not going to get a lot of coverage. You're not going to see it on TMZ. You're not going to see it on Good Morning America, like some of these other fighters. Not getting a lot of coverage. It's a shame. It is what it is. Demetrius Johnson isn't going to do work. The other thing you got to remember is these guys went through all those long ass training camps. Then he gets rescheduled. Ray Bourque got sick. Then it gets to here. So what kind of training camp do they do? Do they just maintain? But they're if you don't have cardio at flyweight, fuck you. So they should be all right. Hopefully they didn't overtrain or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Then at lightweight, the main event, and it should be the main event. And I know Demetrius Johnson's for a title. He's setting the record. But Tony Ferguson, Kevin Lee's your main event. Mm-hmm. And I went into this, Tom fucking blew in the face on why this fight is so important for the UFC and for the future of the lightweight division, why it's so important for Kevin Lee and Tony Ferguson and Conor McGregor, and they're all intertwined, and Nate Diaz, and it's a fascinating story. And I hate making this pick. And I'm just thinking about it right now. I have to make a pick because I make fun of people who make picks. I think it's a cop-out. And I always tell you guys, I'm biased as fuck. But when it's two guys I like both guys. Kevin was on the show, god damn it. I can't think of a worse matchup for Kevin Lee than Tony Ferguson. I just can't. But then there's these huge X factors with Kevin Lee. What's he look like in the 4th and 5th round? What's he look like against the upper echelon competition? What's he look like if he can't take Tony Ferguson down? What's he look like in this huge Mag 2 of a fight? We don't know. We've never seen it. So there's two camps there. You go, well, Kevin Lee's the future. He's the truth. Then you pick Kevin to win. We don't know much about Kevin, and we know Tony's the best lightweight in the world. He's won 9 in a row. Then you're in the Tony Ferguson camp. Who do you got, Chin? I don't want to make a pick. This is the first I don't want to make a pick.
I do agree that I think it's going to be like a surprise factor with Kevin Lee, especially since the whole Garbrandt thing.
Plus, Tony Ferguson had 11 months off.
That's another thing, too. And he always had his eyes on Khabib, training for Khabib. So
here's the thing, though. They both wrestled at the same college. Obviously, Kevin's younger. Kevin, all his finishes are submission, so he has to get you down. Tony Ferguson is ridiculous also at submissions, especially his dart stroke and stuff like that. The thing you got to wonder if you're in the Kevin Lee camp and if you're Kevin Lee supporters, is Kevin Lee good enough to get Tony Ferguson down and keep him down and stay on top? That's the only way he wins this fight. I don't think he's going to outstrike Tony Ferguson. I don't think he's going to catch Tony Ferguson in a guillotine or a Kimura or a dart stroke, anything like that. The way Kevin can win the fight is by landing takedowns against Tony Ferguson. Can he do that without getting clipped, without getting the clinch, getting elbowed, getting taken down by Tony Ferguson? Remember, Tony Ferguson can wrestle his ass off too. Tony Ferguson is a better grappler in transitions. He's so goddamn dangerous and long. And just straight up like dangerous. Yeah. Elbows, knees, relentless, cardio. As the fight goes on, he gets better. Both don't fly out the gates and blow your hair back. Both kind of take a while to get warmed up. So I think you're going to see this fight go into the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. And what kind of fighter is Kevin Lee? I know Tony Ferguson, you're literally going to have to pull him out of there, his unconscious body, out of that octagon.
So that's why I would say the only way that Kevin Lee would win is some crazy just knockout that just comes out of nowhere.
Clips him, then ground and pounds him.
I just think he'll just clip him and knock him out. Or even ground and pound him. But I do pick Ferguson.
Pick Ferguson? Yeah. That's if you're thinking, man, it's probably Tony Ferguson. I hate making this pick.
You could always
the other thing is, you got to remember, is Kevin Lee trains in Vegas. He's the favorite as far as UFC eyes goes, meaning he's the fan favorite. And also, in this day and age of judging, if you go based, and even Kevin Lee said this in an interview, if, shitty judging is part of our sport. Just like PEDs, just like money fights, just like shitty matchmaking, just like anything, shitty judging is something we have to take in consideration in boxing and UFC and Bellator mixed martial arts. That being said, if Kevin Lee lands something, is he a big enough favorite where the crowd can sway those judges into him winning rounds via Canelo versus Golovkin, Triple G? Bunch of X factors.
Yeah. Do you see this going to decision then?
No, I don't. Good luck fucking finishing Tony Ferguson or Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee's been finished, I think, once in the UFC, but Tony Ferguson just finishes fights, man. Kevin Lee's a pressure fighter too, so which he's more susceptible to knees, elbows, kicks, punches. You look at Dos Anjos, who's a pressure fighter. He kind of got ate up against Tony Ferguson. But again, Tony Ferguson had 11 months off. Kevin Lee's younger. He realizes the magnitude of this fight. He's never trained so hard in his life.
And he did talk about how he knows exactly what he's going to do on the mic. So he must be super confident, right?
Yep. My heart goes with, and I always give this to you guys. I pick both guys. I don't give a fuck. I love both these guys. My heart says Kevin Lee. My brain says Tony Ferguson.
That's definitely
Tony Ferguson's going to be tough as fuck to beat for anyone in that division. Anybody. He matches up great with everybody. There's no bad matchup for Tony Ferguson.
Yeah.
He's a finisher. He's just a goddamn finisher. And if it's not a finish, it's a hell of a fight every time.
His arms look like people have long reach, but his arms look like different. They look strange.
Yeah, he was born to Darce choke bitches. Like that's why that's his thing. Darce choke, anacondas. Like that's why he's so good at it, because he has long arms, appendages to do that stuff. So that's his money maker. He's not a knockout artist though. He's a finisher. He's a finish artist, but he's not a knockout artist. So he'll finish you whatever way he can with a Darce, anaconda, guillotine, all that stuff. And if it's not that, then you're a straight up war decision wise. But I would imagine Kevin Lee has more knockout power. Where to your point, if there is a KO, it's going to be because Kevin landed a crazy overhand. Great fight, though.
Very good.
This Saturday, UFC 216 pay-per-view. It's in Las Vegas. What a great time to rally around Las Vegas. And this is the perfect card to do it. Take our minds off of this awful event that has happened this past weekend. So thoughts, prayers, and donations are with you, Las Vegas. Do what you can, whether it's a social media post, blood donating, doing whatever you can to let Las Vegas know that we're thinking about them, we love them, and I think UFC 216 is going to be a little bit of an escape for everyone.